What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Cha-Ching! Heroes Die by Matthew Stover. Guys, this has been a long time coming for me personally, just because this book has been on the top 10 lists of grimdark lists or just, gritty adult fantasy lists. So it's been on my radar for way too long. It's time that I fucking read it. There's plenty of love in my Discord for it, and CK bought it for me, so that just kind of further just pushed me in the direction of getting to it. I have to say, though, I think, like many of us, we drag our feet because that cover is just not doing anybody any favors, okay? This cover is not bringing the boys to the yard at all, okay? In fact, they're all staying home. And I'm not trying to shit on the artist. It's not, all art is subjective. Some people probably fucking love this cover, but there's a lot of us that don't, and it's valid. It just feels like a very dated and it is what it is. All right, let's get into it. Now, as the reader, essentially what we're going to do is follow the character of Caine. Now, the interesting thing about Caine is he's also another character, Harry Michelson, or Mickelson, one of the two. Anyway, so the thing is, Harry is Caine. He acts as Caine. So in Harry's world, he isn't, he's Harry Michelson. He's an actor who's in this, let's face it, Harry's world is very much a political one. There's a caste system. There's, people are put in their place and they kind of just stay there. And he's, got to do this acrobatic fucking act just to kind of appease the fucking class system, so to speak. Okay, so he's kind of jumping through hoops just at home. But then, obviously, he's also jumping through hoops when he takes on the role of Caine, because he goes into another world. Not a simulated world, but it is a fantasy world. So he goes to Ancona and becomes Caine. Now, the interesting thing here is, while he's acting, people back on Harry's world are witnessing this. They're like watching it. It's like pay-per-view. They're like paying to tune in to witness these events go down like a first-person experience, okay? Pretty fucking cool, trippy, all that, right? Also, the kind of cool catch here is the people on Ancona, they know Caine, but they don't know that he's an actor known, as Harry Mickelson. They just don't really know that much about what is going on in this other world, okay? So the people on Ancona are kind of somewhat clueless that there are people here on their planet fucking shit up just for entertainment purposes. The story will eventually take us as the reader following Caine and Harry as he's trying to find his lost wife, which we quickly find out that there is an estranged relationship going on between Harry and his wife. But one way or the other, it's still his wife, and he very much still loves her, and he will go through hell and high water just to find her. The first thing I want to jump into about this is really going to be Matthew Stover's writing. Now, I have read some of Matthew Stover's stuff, his Star Wars stuff, and it's some of my favorite Star Wars stuff. So I was excited to get into this and see his dark, gritty fantasy take. It's so goddamn much more ambitious than I was expecting. Just not even in scope, but just in how it is written, okay? So just in scope, he's written something that is pretty goddamn vast, has a lot of moving parts. And the crazy thing is he makes them all make sense when they need to make sense. He will kind of keep you in the dark at times about little things, and then, boom, enlighten you at the right moment. It all comes together fucking almost seamlessly, and it's very impressive that he's written something that, his plotting is just through the fucking roof, okay? Now, that's that, but then also with his writing, this story is told through multiple perspectives, okay? So you're not just going to get Harry, you will also get some other people, but then Matthew Stover switches things up. He'll pop you from first person to third person, and not only that, he'll switch from present tense to past tense. This seems crazy, and it fucking is. From a writing fucking standpoint, this is ballsy and ambitious, and it's also impressive because what he does is pull it all off. Yes, it might be a tall ask for the reader but it's not jarring at all. Like, it just kind of flows. So yes, it's not holding your hand, but it's not leaving you in the dust either. And the amount of shit he's doing all at once is just, it's fucking impressive. The next thing I want to talk about is the action in the book, because obviously it's a gritty fantasy story, guys. This has got action galore, and it is fucking gritty. I think the one thing I notice about Stover is he is very detailed in his violence, but not just his violence. I guess just you're gonna get a blow for blow detailed account when the shit goes down. Okay, he's gonna be explaining like the fucking elbows to uppercuts, slashes, all this stuff. Okay, it's good. It's a very like thought out, and just it's almost like when you watch the fucking goddamn it, what was the detective movie, the Sherlock Holmes movie? Remember when when Robert Downey Jr. was dodge with use left hand or whatever. He's no counter with right punch. It's like it's almost like that, but it's not rigid. It's just very fucking informative and hitting you rapid pace. It's pretty dope. Though I have to say, I am a little bit more in the camp of let me use my imagination instead of the blow for blow stuff. But either way, it's still really fucking well done and in there from beginning to end. Next, I want to talk about the characters. I'm not going to go into too many, but I want to talk about two of them. First will be Harry, or Caine, our main character. And this is also probably where I have to throw down my biggest criticism, I guess, of the book. Like, I really like this book. I guess maybe the one thing that kept bugging me was Caine, our main character. He's a little too goddamn badass for me. I like a flawed guy myself, okay? And the thing is, though, this was written back in the fucking 90s, okay? And I've seen an argument go down about these books being dated, okay? And people get, all up in arms real quick to defend it. I have to admit, though, Harry Caine feels kind of like a dated character. He's that badass fucking alpha male dude that's just like gonna fuck shit up no matter. He's almost like a Steven Seagal, though his fucking attitude is way better. But yes, I mean, he's just that goddamn good. So what do you do with a guy that's that goddamn good? Well, I guess you got to go after the people that he loves, and that's what Stover has, in store for us here. And it's a good move because, how else? I mean, he's just kicking too much ass. Okay, our main character was just a little too goddamn badass, okay? But if I would have read this back in the 90s, I guarantee you I'd been like, Caine is the motherfucking man! Yeah! The next character I want to talk about, though, is Baron. And Baron, he's essentially our antagonist, one of our bad guys. And goddamn, I love Baron. And Baron is a psychopath. Almost like a contained psychopath, though. Like somebody who can conduct himself, like, out in public, but his fucking inner thoughts are just a mess. And he's a sick fuck. His desires are so wrapped up in violence. And, I mean, like, he's got some fucking rapey behavior. It's all, like, it's so dastardly and sinister. But then he's also, at times, almost charismatic. Like, maybe not enough to really overlook his horrible behavior, but goddamn, I mean, he is a smooth criminal at times. He is fucking vicious. He is scary, and he actually feels like a real threat, okay? This guy is just unchained, and I love everything that Matthew Stover did with this character. Like, really, even when I was being appalled, it just pulled me in that much more because it was believable. Like, he wasn't a cartoonish buffoon villain. This guy was three-dimensional and fucked up. One of the last things I kind of want to get into is going to be just the book's overall tone, right? This thing is on the top 10 list, and it's been there forever, standing strong. Does it deserve to be there? Ugh. Well, I'm not the guy to fucking say who belongs where anyway. I got no clout with that. But the thing is, for me, I do think that this is a dark, gritty fantasy. I don't see it really as a grimdark book, though. I see it as adult fantasy. This is gritty fucking adult fantasy, which someone will be like, well, isn't that grimdark? Well, if it is to you, it is. I see a little bit of a difference there. I think that this kind of reminds me in like a similar vein of Adrian Selby's books. You know, this is just an adult content. And yes, it is grim and dastardly and fucking violent as shit in times. You know, and with characters like Baron, it seems like it could be, like easily labeled grimdark. But yeah, no, I don't see it that way. Dark as fuck and unforgiving, uncompromising at times. So don't think you're going to get, hit with a pillow here. You're getting the steel gauntlet. Bam! Bitch slapped across your face, okay? So it will hurt at times, but that doesn't mean it's grimdark, you know what I mean? I think that Matthew Stover wrote something that was just very mature, very adult, and just very off the rails at times. Now, as far as my 2 cents for the slow and the struggling, yes, actually, I would say the Heroes Die is an amazing book for the challenge category. I think when you guys are looking at trying to open yourselves up to multiple perspectives, a bigger scope, maybe, a thicker, more brainier plot than something so straightforward, this is a book that you could dive into. Is there a lot going on? Yes. Is there all those moving parts and it's also being told from different angles on different fonts or whatever? Yes. But that's all going into that challenge thing. And like I said, Matthew Stover wrote this thing really goddamn good. So he's not going to lose you. You'll have to do a little bit of work, but you come out the other side a more accomplished, just experienced reader, okay? And you get them fucking muscles. You start walking around the reader gym, fucking putting people in fucking... No, we don't do that. Okay. No, we don't do that. Anyway, yes, I think it absolutely for you guys. Pick it up, especially once you're ready for a challenge. This book is all like... It's one of the best, I would say, as far as the challenge category. Well, as always, guys, thanks for spending some time down here at the channel. Woo! And to Matthew Stover, 2 thumbs up, man. Great read. This is actually something I'm looking forward into diving into deeper. Don't know when, but it's such an interesting kind of blend mix of fantasy and sci-fi. And the world building that's kind of opened up to me now after book 1 only leaves me a little bit more intrigued of where we can go into book 2. So we'll see. All right? All right. To you that still are watching, god damn, you're sick, aren't you? Sick and twisted. Peace.